right, I'll call the city council meeting in order. It's 5 o'clock. Roll call, please.
Anderson.
Yes.
Conrad.
Yes.
Feltes.
Yes.
Mazak.
Yes.
Sensala.
Yeah.
Colston.
Right.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Verification of posting.
The agenda was posted at City Hall, State Bank of Arcadia, and Arcadia TV and Appliance on the 29th of April by 4:30 p.m.
There's a 15-item revised agenda to entertain a motion to.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Feltes, second by Mazak. Comments or questions? Clerk will call the roll.
Conrad.
Yes.
Feltes.
Yep.
Mazak.
Yes.
Sensala.
Yep.
Anderson.
Yes.
Public comment?
Public comment. I rise, Todd Fitch. A couple of things here. Walking up and through the park, notice these items called dog scat on the sidewalk, okay, or by the sidewalk, especially along the Pearl Street going up to the park and in the park. We have talked about this on council before, about perhaps having some stations for dog littering and all this sort of thing. I would recommend and push for that as soon as we can, because the season for doing that is pretty soon, just like right now. We have to deal with the rain and whatnot, but people still do that. And where would you put these? How much is it going to cost? The stations I talk about are basically bags so that people can pick up the litter, that they forget to bring their bags along. But so I want that's number one comment. Okay, citywide cleanup. Are we going to have a citywide cleanup? People have been talking about that, where people can get rid of trash alongside the sidewalk, the city picks it up, or this guy right here could pick it up.
I think what we did previously, Doc, is we had a couple large dumpsters up by the city shop, and people hauled it themselves.
Yeah, but well, whatever, people have to know about it. Right now, there are people that are asking about, hey, you know, the streets kind of look kind of trashy. This community, I'm sorry to say, with property situations on the lots, as well as vehicles parked on the lawns and this type of thing. We've talked about this before in council, coming up with a proposal as far as an ordinance. I don't know how far we've gotten with that, but we got to do something, because this community being the center of business, or big business, and we have a great school system and all this sort of thing. People want to come here to live, and we need to take care of it, okay? Number three, talking about plastic recycling. I've been online, I've seen where people can, communities or with recycling plastic, and convert that plastic into fuel. Would be advantageous for us to, maybe our economic development committee could look into this, or something like that, to try to track this kind of a business, if it's economically feasible, if it's worth the effort. I think it is, environmentally, as well as trying to take care of the situation. There's too much plastic out there, and we all know that. Especially what you hear about these plastic islands out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. That's ridiculous. And the fourth item, I have been hearing that recycled plastics that we were doing, and so I talked to Gary about that too, and I also called to Hilltoppers, and I says, hey, people are saying, well, why should we recycle the plastic? Because it's going into landfills anyway, you know, the bottle. And they said, no, this recycled plastic, it does not go into landfills, and I don't know if Gary wants to elaborate on that. a little bit later or not. But I want people to know that, hey, this does not happen. So please recycle your plastic. So that's all I have for now, and I thank you for your attention.
Thanks, Todd. I had a letter here from Jan Dworshak I'll hand out. So each one of you guys can get it.
Is that the email?
Yes.
I got it.
Read it at your pleasure. Is there any other public comment? If there's no other public comment, I'd like to kind of move some of this stuff around after we're done with some of the old business. Start with the basketball league, then go on to the recycling contract, to move Gary along, and then move down to 12 and 13, which is in regards to the Broiler Day Special Events Agreement, because we have representatives there as well. I'm sure they have better things to do than the city council meeting, even though I know they like to be here. There's no objection to that? All right, presentations, we have none scheduled for this evening. Item 4A, approval of reorganizational regular meeting minutes from April 17th.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Feltes, second by Mezak. Comments or questions? Clerk will call the roll.
Feltes,
Yes.
Mezak.
Yes.
Sensala.
Yep.
Anderson,
Yes.
Conrad.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 4B, appointment of Kevin Mezak and Dan Sensala to the Park and Recs Committee.
So moved.
I inadvertently left that off last time's meeting. Motion by Feltes.
Second.
By Conrad. Clerk will call the roll.
Mezak.
Yes.
Sensala.
Yeah.
Anderson,
Yep.
Conrad.
Yes.
Feltes.
Yep.
Motion carries. And then item 4C, the review of the officer card. Is there any changes to that? And some that all printed. If there are any, we can look it over tonight. Let Angela know so we can get that set to print. Item 4D, discussion possible action regarding the basketball league special event application. This is something that was discussed 2 weeks ago. I'll let Bill take it.
Yeah, so 2 weeks ago we received two separate applications, special events applications for a summer long basketball league on Sundays, and from two different groups. Both the groups were represented at that time. Are you guys the same group?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't believe that both the groups are here today. At that time, council had instructed staff to contact both groups to see if we can resolve the issue and have the two groups work together. We did reach out the entire last week to both the groups. We were able to get a hold and discuss with this current group. This is the basketball group that had held it previous years. The newer group did not respond back, or we were not able to get to them per the contact information that was provided on their application. So at this point, we have one application to consider. With that being said, I did hear from Alderwoman Colstead in regards to some concerns about trash pickup and damage to trees or during these events. I know that we've heard some concerns in regards to porta potties and items being left in porta potties for which are not supposed to be left in there. That being said, that application has been submitted. Aaron Cruz, who is leading the group or organizing the group this year, has provided an estimate from the insurance company, which we would require insurance coverage, liability coverage for the event. Other things to consider are, costs towards trash receptacles, porta potties. Whose responsibility would that be? We, the city, has historically been kind of the go-between the group and the vendors. Is that something that we want to continue to do, or is that something that we want to, have the group take care of and show us that they have taken care of that responsibility? Other things that we may consider to address some of the garbage cleanup issues and damage to trees would be security deposits. I don't know if we are prepared to offer an amount in regards to security deposit. I don't know if Angela has any more comments in regards to what she's seen from previous events. I know she's been a part of that. Kevin, comment?
Yeah, I talked to Eva today for about an hour, and I guess they had something go on here like a week ago up there.
Correct. So I think about a week and I have to go now.
Yeah, and she told me that she's not in favor of this happening on Sundays at all up there. And she wanted me to share that with everybody, and said it consumes the whole area, the walking trail. Nobody else can play. Does nothing for money for the city. The city doesn't get anything out of it, and she feels she's against it. So she wanted me to share that with everybody.
Because I mean, I understand those concerns, however, we spend a lot of money on our parks, and they should be
Yeah.
utilized. I mean, if we're gonna spend all this money mowing and maintaining, then why have it? I mean, I get it, we have to be tighter about how it's
Right.
kept up and stuff, but we have these to be utilized.
How much garbage does this event create every time?
Well, you're probably better position to answer that than I am.
Probably like 2 big dumpsters full,
Two of your dumpsters, or
2 of our dumpsters, yeah.
and they're 25 apiece?
Yes.
Yeah, if we rent them, they're
Okay.
25,
Those are
yeah.
two.
My next question
Well,
is,
like 2
if
yard.
we made sure there was always a dumpster there for that event, is there a way we can lock it and they have the key so somebody doesn't end up putting their trash in the
Also-
groups? The
Household
groups,
garbage.
huh?
Household garbage.
Yeah, you know what I mean, if the dumpster's sitting there on Friday night and somebody drives through and throws their garbage in it, that affects them negatively, you know?
There is a dumpster there, and that has happened, what you just said. It's been full at times.
Right.
I mean, if you want it locked, I mean, that's something we can do, but
You know, that way they get what they're gonna pay for.
right, yeah, and we certainly could do that. We could certainly lock it. There's no,
But they need 2 of them, you think?
I don't think just one.
well, the thing is that there's certain events where the dumpster's full and there's 4 or 5 barrels that are full there too, you know? Well, here's what happens. Pile the stuff up on the barrels, and Sunday night a storm comes through. You know, maybe
Blows it all.
maybe the protocol should be, there's 2 dumpsters there, that the barrels will be dumped in the dumpsters and locked again, and then our
So the
guys,
barrels are
you
always
know,
empty.
yeah, the street department guys have a key and they come and they, you know,
Cause you don't need them dumpsters the rest of the week.
no, I mean, we can make that work if that's what you guys choose, I mean, yeah.
What's your guys' thought about, as far as porta potties, and having the groups organized with the third party, instead of us being the middle person?
Right, but if they choose not to do that, then they use,
Well, then
but there are bathrooms on site
If they're
those are locked.
They're not open, yeah.
all the time.
Yep.
That I did not know.
Because of vandalism.
Right? And then the
Unbelievable.
vandalism will go into the dumpster, or
Right.
into the porta potty.
Right.
Who,
So if the porta potties are vandalized, you know, then are we gonna have a liability issue for even renting them? Or if we have the group or whatever groups,
We should have them go third party.
Right.
go direct with them and,
Yeah, now back to this dumpster thing, now if he's emptying 2 dumpsters full every week, how are we sending them a bill for that?
Well, the
Or is that gonna
ordinance
be on
says
our
that that
dime?
would get prepaid at the beginning of the season for the entire summer.
yeah,
So there'd be money down to take care of that.
correct.
So, a couple of things I want to address here. So, the event that Kevin had brought up was a basketball tournament, as I understand. I was not here, but I received a phone call on it. I don't believe it was this group. Actually, we confirmed it that it wasn't this group.
These are the same group that's had it previous years.
This is correct, correct. So I want to make sure that we clear that up. And in regards to the ordinance and how we built the ordinance is this application process, the group meeting with staff for which they have, and we've discussed some of these items beforehand, and to prepare to pay those fees. The next step would be for the council to decide what those fees are, what is the responsibility of the group, so that we understand each other ahead of time, and then what is the responsibility of the city.
Whose responsibility is for other big events? Broiler Days, who takes care of the dumpsters and is that on the city or is that?
Well, it's unique to each event. So in regards to Barlow Days, we'll be discussing that later on today's agenda, and we have they're looking at a special agreement for that event.
But I think Paul's asking who pays for the porta potties?
Who pays for the porta potties?
The Lions Club does, and Ashley for the Arts has, so if you keep true to that, you tell the person that you'd approve the event to, they have to provide them.
I mean, I think that's the way we should go, and we can provide them with a list of multiple vendors, and they can contact whoever they like.
Well, if you wanna get back to the dumpster thing, if I may.
Sure.
For Broiler Days, we bring in 2 big dumpsters, from Tri-City, plus we have 3 up there, from the city, and we get a monthly charge on that no matter what anyway, so we take care of our own all the time.
So Bill, you're looking for, what sort of fees? You already know the dumpster fees.
Yeah, so we're looking for some kind of direction here, and my understanding is they want to get started, on Sundays, and that's kind of the first question is okay, are we going to permit this event on Sundays? And understanding that they're every Sunday from basically now until October,
Except Brother Days.
and September,
And
except for
holidays.
special events, days, so
Brother
Memorial
Days,
Days
Ashley for
and
the Arts.
Ashley for the Arts are the 2 big ones. So the basketball courts will be occupied during that time. One thing that we've asked for them to do is also get permission from the school district in order to use the school district court. And I have reached out to Lance Bagstead in regards to that, and they would require the same items as we do. So trash, bathrooms, insurance coverage, no drinking. And so then the next question is, okay, we're permitting for the whole year, so therefore we need to have those confirmations, whether it be from the vendors, whether it be the deposit, to cover for that full time frame. And that's at the discretion of the council, whether you want that to be the whole time frame, or if you wanna break that up, but we would recommend it be the whole time frame. Just trying to think of anything else that may be out there. Aaron did mention, potential, of selling food at that location during those events. My advice at the time was, he doesn't have a food license right now, he's gonna need one to be able to take that class. If at that time he decides to move forward with that, he would have to come in and amend his permit, to improve that.
Could they have licensed food trucks that are already licensed for the county?
Yeah, if it's a part of his, if he wants to make it a part of his
Like,
application.
if say they don't wanna partake in
We
it,
would,
just-
he would, amend his application, and we would need the food license information from whoever that food truck vendor would be. And then if council wants to designate an area for where they need to be, because currently city ordinance does not allow for food trucks to be on public property.
Aren't they there during the Ashley for the Arts?
I don't know if there are food trucks there, are there?
What are
They're
they called?
vendors, they're vendors.
Vendors?
Potato, type of thing.
Isn't that kind of the same deal?
I know what you're saying.
So we would need upfront would be for the full year, would be for the dumpsters, give them a list of
Sanitary.
sanitary, and they'd have to amend their permit. And we already we wouldn't rent the park out on Saturdays currently.
Yeah, so currently the event is for on Sundays.
Oh, Sunday.
And so porta potties, I think we've done 4 porta potties in the past for these events. They usually draw in about 200 to 250 people. So staff would recommend that we would require for each Sunday event, 4 porta potties.
It's up to you guys if you wanna approve it and move forward. I mean, I feel as though we have a park there to utilize it.
Absolutely.
Sunday's the best day. I mean, the Lions Club uses their pavilion and then we'd get extremely full. So motion by Conrad, is there a second?
I'll second.
By Feltus.
Just to make sure I understand what the motion is here. So to approve the special event permit, contingent on those items being met.
Correct.
So porta potties, individual between party and vendor, trash,
Liability
costs,
insurance.
with the city, and then liability with the city.
Which is in the ordinance.
Correct. And then, getting that letter from the school district, confirming that. And I guess for trash, do we care if that's city or if it's third party?
Doesn't matter to us. I guess I wouldn't see a problem. It just needs to be picked up.
Any damage deposit?
Damage deposit. What do you feel comfortable as a damage deposit up there for cleanup and?
I'm still thinking about the trash. I mean, you gonna try city dump a dumpster there and put a lock on it and it's gonna sit there all week, or?
I'm just saying, I don't have a problem.
I mean,
one
we're
way or
gonna
the
leave
other.
ours there all week too, cause we're not gonna take them up there every week and pull them out Monday, and it's just
I
too
just
time
don't keep it
consuming.
in-house.
Yeah,
That's right.
as long as we still
Yeah,
have
that
a
way,
garbage
well,
truck.
they can
So you're gonna
buzz up
require
there Monday,
2
pick it up and
dumpsters,
it's
Bill,
gone.
and you want them locked.
Yes.
And these guys are gonna get the keys.
Correct.
We'll have a set of keys, they'll have a set of keys, they'll be locked all week,
And they get the bill.
Correct.
and they get the bill. And how are you gonna do it? They're gonna,
They'll pay it in
Deposit.
advance.
Yeah.
Yep, yearly.
so they're gonna pay for 2 dumpsters full every week in advance until
Then
September.
we should just keep track of it.
And if something happens, Raleigh, when, let's say they only use 1 dumpster, then they would get credited back, I mean,
Okay, so
I
when
don't
I
think-
turn my garbage slip in at the end of the month, you'll just,
Yeah, we'll track it.
Sally will figure it out.
yep.
Okay, well, fine.
Yeah, we're not gonna,
Just
we're
sign
not
over there.
charging for something we don't take.
Right.
Right.
Okay, and I'll talk to Raleigh about the deposit. I'll go from there.
As far as like damaged trees or benches.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what
stuff
about
like-
violations where they don't follow through with, you go
Well,
up there
if-
Monday and
if
there's
they don't,
garbage
the
everywhere.
ordinance states the permit can be pulled and
Yeah.
they can't, they no longer apply.
Is that security system still in the park? Does it work?
It doesn't work, no.
Any other comments or questions? Clerk will call the roll.
Sensala,
No.
Anderson,
Yes.
Conrad,
Yes.
Feltus,
Yes.
Mazick.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Aaron, I'll follow up with you regarding the condition.
Move on to item 8A, discussion of possible action on the recycling contract. Bill, just a second.
I'll try that another week. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're gonna move on to the recycling contract, Bill.
Okay. So you should have, as part of your packet, a proposed recycling contract or agreement with Hilltopper. As you know, recycling referendum did fail. And our current recycling contract with Hilltopper does end at the end of the year. So with that being said, we would like to revisit the contract. Hilltopper has asked for 3 to 5 year a contract extension at the current rates and current service levels, with it increasing on consumer price index. With that being said, the draft contract that you do have is for a 3-year contract. I think that considering the communities want for additional recycling services, that the shorter of the two would be in the city's best interest, and kind of just not knowing what's in the future for the city at this point. We do have Gary Holgum from Hilltopper here to discuss anything in regards to the contract, or if you have any questions in regards to the contract. Gary, do you want to say anything?
Not really. I mean, added plastics, plastics were talked about earlier. You know, as markets change and things are more acceptable, yes, we'll add them on. We've always had that agreement. Nothing that we recycle at the center gets landfilled. We're not gonna spend the time to bale something, to ship something, and then have it put in a landfill. So, anybody that's asking that, we won't go as deep as showing them bill of ladings, but we can show them the process of how we do stuff, and bill of ladings being the trucking, but nothing gets landfilled. We do only the 1s and 2s at this time. There's no market, there's just absolutely no market for that stuff.
Sure.
So if you would've went single stream and say Hilltopper would've been awarded that, pretty good odds that number 7s and number, 8s and 3s and all that would've been landfilled at times. 1s and 2s have been the strong market, and I've been doing this all my life, so we have never once landfilled that type of plastic.
So just a brief on the current level of service. So it is operated as a drop-off center currently. Hilltopper does offer curbside pickup at their own rate to the private consumer.
And we have increased since that voting, people must have gotten wind about that, more have signed up for that service. Don't quote me, I believe it's like $10 a month, $15 a month for every other week service, and that's a curbside service.
So it is offered currently.
How many roughly did you guys pick up?
15.
Which was like 5 or 6, wasn't it?
Correct. So it has jumped.
Is the hours of operation, is there any chance that could change?
We've talked about it just in the fact, Hermie, the gentleman that runs up here, we're trying to find the peak hours, what's good, what's bad. It works the way it is, Saturdays, no matter what you do, Saturdays you're gonna get pounded, no matter if you're open Monday through Friday. It's just Saturday is just a good day for everybody.
Right, but I can't imagine that Monday through Friday is busy from, noon till 4?
No, it's not, but we do
Don't
other.
you think one evening, even till like 7 one evening would be a good idea?
That's an option, that's something that can be looked at. I can't at this point say, yes, we'll do that. It's something that, to definitely be considered. So you're thinking like, just.
And this is just my opinion.
Correct, but you're just thinking like Tuesday, Wednesday?
Whatever day, cause I hate to blow a whole Saturday just to go to the recycling. And you're closed by the time.
So if you're saying we open and we're just gonna use hypothetical Wednesday evening, then we can reduce Saturday by a few hours or another day by so many hours? Okay.
That would be my take on it.
Instead of being open from 1
Yeah.
till 4 on Monday.
Yeah, don't be open at all.
Be open till like 4 till 7 on Thursday night or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's absolutely not a possibility. That's something I would definitely.
Especially like when it's bright outside.
Right.
Obviously in the winter time, it would be different.
Correct.
Most people don't.
So you can do your peak, months, June through October,
Right.
open in the evening. And that's something I would work with Bill or whomever I need to work with.
I think that would be a big plus. I think people utilize that in the evening.
Yeah. And I will say, that is a breath of
Way
fresh
back.
air the way
I'm in a meeting.
you're treated at your facility.
Thank you.
What, the other guy was nice?
Oh, he was.
Wasn't that a Sansala guy or? No. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Is there questions about the contract?
No,
Motion by.
I'll second it.
Second by Nathan. Yeah, we appreciate what you've done, and I agree with Fritz, it was a breath of fresh air, and the numbers obviously have grown.
Yeah,
See what you
it's,
cover.
yeah, it's tripled. I was saying doubled at one point, it's tripled. Our business, So the evening is definitely, yeah, that's a good thing to
So does that
look
mean the
at.
cost is gonna go down, cause you're getting
It won't
more?
go down because we're gonna reduce, 4 hours during the week, and then we're gonna increase it.
No, I'm saying cause your volume is up.
That's a good thought, but
That's not the way it works.
Yeah.
It's just like when they charge you a delivery charge, you know what, it doesn't
I need to
matter
buy
what
a new
the price of
Harley,
fuel
so
is.
no, at this point, no.
At least you're up front with us, what you spending?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm going on vacation here in a week, so.
There's any other questions? Clerk will call the roll.
Anderson,
Yes.
Conrad,
Yes.
Feltes,
Yep.
Mezek,
Yes.
Sensala.
Yeah,
Motion carries. Move down to, item 12, closed session deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public property, investing of public funds or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. This is for the broiler days special events agreement.
So moved.
Motion by Feltus,
Second.
second by Mazak. Clerk will call the roll.
Conrad,
Yes.
Feltes,
Yes.
Mezek.
Yes.
Sensala.
yeah.
Anderson.
Motion carries.
We are in open
We're in open
session.
session.
So now you need a motion on that.
You can either do it that way, or you can just approve the agreement. The next time around.
Jeff, you must have
You
picked
just
it
put
up
it
You don't
this
need to-
weekend. Do you want the Lions?
Let's just put it in agreement.
For next meeting?
Okay.
Okay.
No, not this very anymore.
So we're not gonna act on number 14, no action necessary. Warm in here.
It's warm in here. Must be a lot of thinking.
You've given us a lot of credit, is what I think.
10B?
10, actually, 4E, discussion and possible approval of the snow bucket purchase. Raleigh, the floor is yours if you'd like to take it, otherwise Bill can. This is something that we discussed
Go ahead,
before we
tell
had
them what we're
two.
thinking, Bill.
Second and last meeting, you're making work.
That's right. You can get away easy.
So,
Do you wanna just give a brief?
yeah, at a previous meeting, Raleigh had asked for, the permission from, or the go-ahead from council to take a look and see if there were, any, you gotta help me with the size here, snow bucket,
5 yard.
5-yard snow bucket, due to the amount of snow that we've had this past year, to be able to move, snow quicker and more efficient, than what we had at the time.
Right.
And reduce costs as far as, staff time. And so council had him go out to do that, he did do that, and found a bucket, in Ohio.
Yeah, I priced out new ones from a bunch of different, just so I knew where we were at. Anywhere from $8,800 to $10,500. Well, I stumbled across a new one sitting on a lot that was more than likely what the guy said is probably ordered by someone and wasn't taken. And it is brand new. And if I was to order one today, it would be exactly what I'd ordered. And they want $5,800 for this. It's sitting on a lot out in Ohio.
What did Nick want? When you talked to them to build it.
Nick's welding was $5,400 plus I had to supply the cutting edge, which is $1,400. So you're at $6,800 there.
I'll make a motion, we buy the one.
How are
mile.
you getting it here?
Yeah.
It's $5,800, it'd be $400 for freight to get it here. Unless
There's
we go on a road
There's a
trip.
motion by Feltus,
I'll road trip for you, Raleigh.
second by Anderson.
So.
Do you guys understand why we're doing this?
Yeah, let me just give you, this winter I did some time studies when we were hauling. And I was hauling from a pile here in town, it was taking, 8 scoops with the loader. Go to the pile, go to the truck, 8 times with our 2 3/4 yard bucket. A 5 yard bucket would cut that time in half. It took 4 minutes. It was 9 minutes and 40 seconds to make a round, of which 4 minutes of it was sitting there loading. So basically you had 5 minutes and 40 seconds to go from that pile to the park, dump, and come back. you'd eliminate 4 duty cycles with the loader. So instead of going back and forth 8 times, you'd go back and forth 4 times. And instead of, okay, the next truck pulls up and you're first putting a 6 bucket in, you'd have his 4 gone, and the next one, when that next truck comes pulling up, the first bucket goes in the next truck. He's never sitting waiting.
Right. Now, is this something you could use in the park, maybe to push the snow around a little bit too, though, like?
Yeah,
If
you
you start
could.
running low on room like you
I
did
mean,
this
you
year?
just, the only thing you're not, this is a light material bucket, you're not gonna go into a pile of riprap, or you'll have it bent up
Right.
and then it'll never fit decent again, you know?
What do we pay per hour for these rented trucks? Is it about $95 an hour?
85 to 95. And I'm not saying that by buying this bucket, just so we're perfectly clear, that like this year, that you wouldn't have to still rent some stuff. Because this is, as we all know, this is an
Well, when
extraordinary
you get a
year.
big storm like that, that happens.
But if you get a, say you get a 15-incher and then you don't get nothing for 3 weeks, we take care of it all by ourselves because we're gonna be more efficient doing it, so. I mean, to stumble, and whether this happens or not, I'm just gonna put this out there, is to find a brand new one at this price, sitting on a lot, again, because it's kind of a specialty item, because most people like Dave Hesh has got all general purpose buckets, Fritz knows all about that stuff. This is a light material bucket, it's built a little lighter, but it's bigger,
For volume.
yeah.
Well, yeah, 'cause we don't need something that's.
No, we've got 3 other, each loader's got its own bucket, and they're all general purpose buckets.
Can this go on any 3 of your loaders?
The 2 big ones, it would go on.
It wouldn't fit on the John Deere?
It would fit on it, but you'd be pushing the limit.
Okay.
So with that being said, this item was not budgeted for, obviously. And the snow removal budget is shot.
Yep.
And we're very, at the very beginning of our budget year here, so, I don't feel comfortable taking it out of any of your other supplies and materials, considering, things that might happen. Place where we do have some room to move and is that we budgeted approximately $9,500 for this code enforcement intern. Considering, with what's happening with the city administrator position and going into this year, and some may say an intern should be at no cost to the city, that could be a landing spot as far as reallocation of those funds over for this bucket.
How much is in the street department equipment fund?
He doesn't have that report with him, Fritz. I mean, do you want me to go pull it, or I can call you with it tomorrow? That's not something that we have.
Well, can't we take it out of there?
Just a minute here.
He spent that down pretty well last year when he got his truck.
Yeah, we bought that new salt
Oh,
truck. Salt truck and blade.
I know
What
that.
we use out of that, correct?
Right. On a different matter, this week I sold just about $1,200 worth of guardrail off the pulling track, and another load of firewood for $300. So I don't know if you can use that towards that. But
Keep selling stuff.
What else
It
you got
works,
sell?
isn't there?
What else you got? You got some scrap iron laying around back
Someone
somewhere?
sell the loader.
yeah,
Get the bucket.
we got the bucket with the loader.
Salt in the sand.
there you go. And I'm not saying that that's going to be used for that, but I'm just saying.
Right,
I
but it
just
should,
wanted to-
I mean, it
It helps.
stays in the same pot,
Right. Because I thought, what are we ever going to do with 600 feet of guardrail? So I kept a couple pieces and sold
Good job on this
572
out here.
feet. What?
Good job.
Yeah, we redid that posts and guardrail out here. Ooh, let's take a look.
We'll find out who did it in the first place.
All you gotta do is back up.
There
with-
was
all you gotta
certain
do is back
things
up with a
this year
pickup
with
and that
snow
ball will
removal
stick right
that
underneath there.
got hit. I mean, it just happened. I mean,
Yeah.
in the bills, you're gonna see a thing for some fence on a lady's yard that we must have pushed snow and knocked her fence over, so I had to go buy some posts. What are you gonna do? You can't see nothing.
Yeah.
That Sunday, you might as well put blinders on,
yeah. Actually, I'm surprised that didn't happen more.
Right.
Ripped up yard and
Yeah,
corners.
The street machinery fund's down at $4,000.
So you'd be looking at roughly 1,400.
With the stuff we sold, you got it.
pardon me?
With the stuff we sold, you pretty much got it.
I guess.
Are we holding that for any other type of machinery?
Is there anything you're gonna need?
I don't foresee anything this year. I mean,
Like your cutting edges on all your plows are good till the,
yeah. We've got 2 spares there now and everything's actually, we just went through them all this spring here.
tires on loaders,
Tires and loaders are all good.
trucks?
Well, the motion is made and seconded to purchase it. I would believe that Bill and Raleigh can figure out where they can get the money from, where would be best.
And that budget reallocation would come maybe to the next
Come
meeting,
back
because we have a
to us,
couple
yeah.
other things too that we need to do.
Is
We're
there any
supposed
other
to-
questions?
Are we gonna be able to put our hands on it, or we gotta wait till the next meeting?
No, if you guys approve it, we'll make it happen, and then
Yeah, then we'll just do the budget reallocation to make sure it matches.
Second.
I think there already was a motion.
Did you make the
Second,
motion?
I
Oh,
believe.
you made the motion? Oh, I'm sorry.
Feltus and Anderson.
I'm sorry, Paul.
Clerk will call the roll.
I didn't even third it.
Yeah, and I'll fourth it, Kevin can fifth it, then we got it covered.
Just wait a second here, and you guys can all do that. Go ahead
Feltus,
and do it.
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Sensala.
Yeah.
Anderson.
Yes.
Conrad.
Yes.
Motion carries. Ambulance board is on here, we never got a, confirmation that they're gonna be here, so if they show up, they're on here, but if not, we're gonna keep moving.
Angela, when you hear that meeting is, can you please let me know?
Yes, she asked for your email address, can I
Who's she?
forward? Deb Slavy. Can I
Sure,
forward that to you?
that's why we got that.
Okay,
You know how to open it, the email that is.
I'll have Raleigh's daughter know.
That's the best way to do it.
No, I.
Item 6, department update, Bill. City
I just
administrator.
wanna give a quick update on the ITGS position. We went out to advertise or post that position, I think twice. And we weren't able to find the right candidate. So at the salary level that we have it in, and so, you know, at this point, what we'll be bringing forward to the next, or to a future agenda is extending the IT services contract with BCC now throughout the end of the year. If you remember, we had a contract agreement with him for a quarter, which has expired now, and we're month to month. And so I think with the transition at the city administrator position, you know, it would make sense to extend them to the end of the year, continue with Carla as a part-time GIS mapping for that amount of time also, and then recalibrate at the end of the year. Give us, you know, give Angela an opportunity to take a look at the budget at that point too, and so that everyone is at a more comfortable level. Right.
Is this a full-time position?
Yeah, so let's take a step back. So, about a year and a half ago now, we started looking into this. We contract with Marv
Yeah.
for IT services, and he came in at about $30,000. And at the same time, between the utility commission and the general fund, we had created this mapping position, this part-time position, to bring all of our mapping in-house.
Carla had that.
Yeah, and Carla was doing that part-time at 24 hours. And so that, we were looking at that budget at approximately 35,000. So it made a lot of sense to have a full-time staff member to be able to do both IT services and do the mapping at the same time. And we were hoping that we would be able to find someone with the skill set to be able to do that. And through our posting and increasing the salary once, we weren't able to find that. So we're kind of back at home base.
What do you think caused that? Too low a salary or too much responsibility?
Too low a salary.
Too low a salary probably, but I think it's more, you know, the different specialties also. You have to find a person that's well-rounded and likes to do different things. What we found is a lot of times in the IT world, they're specialized. So they're either doing, say for example, help desk, or they're doing networking, or they're doing software, or doing hardware. There's different specialties within that. Whereas GIS mapping is more data management and kind of cartography and getting out there and doing.
Hey, we're in a tough spot. I mean, there's big businesses in the city of Arcadia that pay
Good
IT
money,
people
yeah.
really well, and we're competing with them.
Is this, like, how much schooling for this?
Well, we had it, I think an associate's degree, and
So,
computer,
2-year?
yeah, 2-year degree.
Have we looked at where, is there any schools around here that have that training?
Yeah, well, when we advertise.
Part of the problem is they work a lot with the police department, so you have to have a certain, confidentiality as well, so it's not like we can work with a school, they have.
No, I'm saying, is there a tech school that trains people? Is it?
Yeah, but
Have we could
Fast
maybe get
recruiting,
somebody that's
right.
coming out in May or?
Right, it's possible.
Yeah, we targeted, specific groups.
Okay.
So as far as colleges, areas, we sent it out to, like the international GIS and international or national IT groups. We sent it out to, the municipal websites to post on there. So we did a pretty good, job at posting. It was a matter of getting interested candidates at that salary level in this employment market, for a community our size.
Well, with that being said, then I see there's only one thing left here to do,
Right, we're gonna just continue on and.
or increase the salary. I mean,
Well, I think after, when our next city administrator comes in, we go back to the drawing board and figure out what we wanna do and how we wanna move forward. That's all we can do.
Yeah, so
I mean, we've operated this way previously, was kind of a swing at changing something up to bring everything in-house.
So this is just an update as to where we are currently, and again, we'll bring this as a future agenda item in regards to the IT contract. In regards to the mapping, I don't think that there needs to be any kind of motion or further action on that because she's already approved for that. But I just wanted to provide you an update because that has been out there for quite some time. And so we're kind of wrapping this up, going into kind of the end of my tenure here. So.
And then as far as applications,
We received, I think, it was 13 or 14 applications for city administrator. We as a group met this week and kind of pared it down to 5 we'd like to interview. I'm working with, the thought was the first group would be a member of the council, a member of the commission, myself, Terry Madden, and Rob. No one is overly close proximity to Arcadia. So to see if, give them the option if they want to come in person for their first interview or Skype or telephone interview. And then hopefully would narrow it down from there and then bring the applicants back in. When we posted and hired for Bill's position, it was more community planning and zoning, kind of what Ryan did. And it evolved into the city administrator position. So it's kind of the first time the city is actually interviewing and hiring a city administrator. So in talking through the process, if we had that group of 5 narrowing it down, it's obviously important for the council and the commission, since the council pays half the salary, the commission pays half the salary, to make sure that we work out a good process for bringing the final candidates through, getting them, a tour of our facilities, having them meet with both the utility commission and the council, because a lot of times you might have the skills to do a job, but when it comes to some of these higher level management positions, fit is a big, you wanna make sure you're getting the right fit for the community. So, getting a tour of our facilities, having them doing a writing component, because, written communication and communicating with the public is a huge, you know, part of this job, we know what the executive summaries that Bill and I work on together. We have to bring somebody in here that can, you know, handle that piece of it as well, and then, you know, to meet our other department heads, and, you know, we can decide who would be, you know, as we get down there, but definitely the council and the utility commission would be interviewing the final candidates. And if you guys are comfortable with that process, that's kinda how we would proceed.
Is that okay with? And if everybody wants to be part of it, I mean, it's surely possible, I just know everybody's time is valuable. We'd like to get it as close to here and then maybe down to 3 people. And then we have a full council interview and utility commission as well. We okay with that? We don't need a motion or anything,
No.
just that's how
Sounds
we
good.
will proceed then, if that's okay with you
Yeah.
guys.
Sounds good.
We need to get somebody.
Yeah, but I wanna make sure we're all on the same page and it doesn't come back that Rob and Angela or Rob's doing something this way and this is a group effort and a group decision. Not just this group, the utility commission as well. Anything else or questions for Bill? Public hearing, we have none scheduled. Move on to item 8B, discussion and possible action and designate Davie Engineering as city engineer representative to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Flood Protection Project.
Well, I have an email here from Mike Davey. Throughout the Army Corps project, we have been referring to Davey Engineering in regards to the Army Corps project. So this is the levee project. Not necessarily the internal drainage. As you remember, the internal drainage is being, we're being advised by Strand and Associates. So again, consideration of the transition here.
Jeff, did we get called?
We're probably gonna.
With this project being a large project and the draft feasibility being ready soon and going into next year with the final feasibility, keeping the continuity of the project moving forward. Davey has asked to be named as the city's representative on this project. I believe that it would be a good idea, as they do have the historical knowledge of the city and they represent the city's utility water and wastewater. So I did ask them to provide us what the rates will be, and so it would be an hourly. I don't think that we would need to sign a specific contract for this or agreement for the project until we get past the study phase and get to design and construction. Again, they've been helping us in getting us to this point of the feasibility study. And those costs are being allocated as match towards the 205 project, so we've been having them go through that project.
Comments, questions?
Doesn't make me happy, but we've gone this long and so far, and we gotta keep moving, so
Right.
I'll make a motion to approve
We'll
it.
second it.
Motion by Feltus, second by Mezak. I agree wholeheartedly with you, Joe. Other comments or questions? Clerk will call the roll.
Mazak.
Yes.
Sensala.
Yep.
Anderson.
Yes.
Conrad.
Yes.
Feltes.
Yep.
Item 10C, discussion of possible action on a provisional building permit for a Wajdi 10-unit apartment.
So move.
Motion by Feltus, is there a second?
I'll second.
By Mezak.
So Corey Wozny called me this morning. They're actually not ready to put this on, as they are meeting with actually their excavator right now. And so just to jump into this a little bit, this is the remaining lot up on Saddle Drive. They are proposing still a 10-unit apartment building up there. the design is basically the same, but they're trying to figure out the elevation to see if they can bring it more in line. If you look at the drawing right now, they have an elevation change midway through the building, and it does not match any of the buildings that are up there. In addition to that, in talking with Corey, he has not reviewed the conditional use permit for that property, and I advised that it would behoove him to review that, and if he has any questions, to come in and talk to me about that before putting together any official plans, because in case he's in violation of that permit, it would be in jeopardy of.
Well, my number one question, where are they gonna take all that snow? Didn't they pile snow there last year?
Well, I believe they're responsible to remove it, haul it off. Yeah.
Right, cause they can't push it into the city street.
I believe that is a condition of their.
And that's what caused flooding last year up there.
And I don't know, I maybe get crucified for saying this right now, but we do all them guys a lot of favors up there, cause we push a lot of it to the ends and that stuff where, you know, by rights, really all we need to do is take it out, and that's their baby from there, but, you know.
Well, right, and you know, that's where that flooding caused.
I mean, that
got caused last year, that didn't help us.
That bad Sunday, the guys rolled it to the middle, and Monday morning, we were up there at 2:30 in the morning, you know, blowing it out of the middle of the street, just cause you couldn't push it all down to the end, but yeah, I mean, that really needs to be addressed, how they're gonna, you know, they're gonna have to hire people to haul it out when it gets like that, so,
Sorry.
Yep.
so.
Anyway, I guess it's okay with the motion in a second, we'll remove it. Move it to the
That's
next.
fine. Have a good evening, chief.
See you guys.
Good night. Any other questions, or we can discuss that next time? Hearing none, we'll move on. Item 8B, discussion of possible action on a provisional building permit for the Arcadia Country Club storage building.
So this one is good.
Motion by Feltus, by Masak. I think kind of self-explanatory what happened there.
Snow load?
Snow load.
Yeah, snow load,
Building.
roof collapse, and because it is considered a commercial building, not agricultural, and I believe they're improving the load bearing on that building now. They did require a new provisional permit, or a permit from the state, because they're over 25,000 cubic feet. So they submitted the plans have been conditionally approved by the state, you have that in your packet. So the next step is that it comes to the council for a provisional permit, and if approved, I can get that over to them so they can get started.
Motion collapse that.
Motion in a second. What's that?
Golf cart storage.
Kind of where they do the maintenance.
That silver one.
Yep. Clerk will call the roll.
Sensala.
Yeah.
Anderson.
Yes.
Conrad.
Yes.
Feltes.
Yep.
Masak.
Yes.
Motion carries. 90, approval of bills of general account amount of $127,965.86. Motion by Sensala, second by Feltus. You guys like how this is done, or comments, questions, Fritz, Dan?
Carrot Top Industries, $4.92 for flags for Soldiers Walk. Who ordered them?
I don't,
It's all the military flags up on the hill.
Okay.
There's 4 sets of them. Cause you get a better deal by ordering,
That's fine.
you know,
kinda seems like you've been spending a lot of money tonight, doesn't it?
well, like the 3x5 Americans, there's what, 23 of them just on the walk alone?
That's
I usually
fine.
order them like 48 at a time, cause they come for, you know, $2-3 a piece cheaper, so.
That's fine.
The ones we buy made in the USA.
Yes.
Not Chinna?
Any other questions? And again, these come out every, about 5 days before the agenda, so if you ever have a question, feel free to bring it up here beforehand or city staff. Go ahead and call the roll.
Anderson.
Yep.
Conrad.
Yes.
Feltes.
Yeah.
Masak.
Yes.
Sensala.
Yep.
Motion carries. Operator license is none.
Where's that?
Picnic permit for Ashley for the Arts, August
So
8th,
moved.
9th, 10th.
Oh, that's
Motion by Mazak, second by. Motion by
Fritz.
Fritz,
That's,
second by Snapper, sorry.
There you go.
It's been a long day. Any comments or questions? Clerk will call the roll.
Conrad,
Yes.
Feltes,
Yep.
Mezek,
yes.
Kinsella,
Yeah.
Anderson.
Motion carries. Our next regular meeting will be Wednesday, May 15th at 5 PM, right here. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mazak. Second by Pearson. Clerk will call the roll.
Feltes,
Yep.
Mezek,
Yes.
Kinsella,
Yep.
Anderson,
Yes.
Conrad.
Yes.